Welcome to MarcusG.tv. I'm Chef Marcus Giuliano. I'm a chef on a mission. Today's mission is supporting local. I had a phone call today, and it was from a mushroom guy who has mushrooms. I don't know if he does them year round. I don't know if he just has a batch of them that's ready right now, but he does shiitake mushrooms. And I don't personally know the guy. The guy's been into my restaurant, so I'm not talking bad. I just want to give an example of what goes into the thought process of my restaurant, because the gentleman said, well, nice way to support. I told him I couldn't buy his products, and he told me, well, nice to support local agriculture, and then, you know, started rambling on about, you know, how much I charge and why I couldn't afford. So the guy calls me and has mushrooms, and I would love to buy as much local as possible. Absolutely, local's where it's at, okay? A lot of restaurants do support local. And he quoted me a price of, he quoted me a price of shiitakes, which, and said, can I send you a picture? And I said, I want to stop you right there, because I don't want to waste anybody's time, right? I want to stop you right there. The price you quoted me is out of my budget. Now, if you ever watched any of my videos before, and I've said this, I don't negotiate with farmers. It's what they need to get. I'm not there to question them. However, everything that they have might not be for me, might not be the right product, might not be the right price, and I'm sure other restaurants out there will buy things, okay? But certain times there's just things that I can't because it's out of my price realm. So I explained to him, that is out of my price realm. It's more than I would pay, and I don't have shiitakes on my menu right now, and I have bought local log-grown shiitakes, forest-grown shiitakes, you know, for like $4 or $5 a pound less. So, which is here nor there. However, I'm sure the mushrooms for the price he quoted me are beautiful, and I'm sure they are. And he said other restaurants are buying them, so I'm sure they're worth every penny. But sometimes it's just not for me. So he said, he goes, well, you're not the cheapest. He goes, your entrees are. I've been to your restaurant. Your entrees are $22 and up. And your bottom of the barrel entrees are $22 and up, and your beer at your place is $8. And I don't want to argue with the guy. I personally don't know him. He's been to my restaurant. I'd like him to come back. First of all, my entrees start at $15, $16, $17, and a lot of my entrees are under $20. It was just people's perception. He goes, your beers are $8. Well, sure, I have a lot of $8 beers. I have a lot of $18 beers. I have a lot of $28 beers, and I have several $38 beers. Those are big bottles of beer. And the ones that are $8 are high alcohol. But I have plenty of beers that are $5 and $6 on my menu. But again, it wasn't like I didn't feel a need to argue with him. But then he says, nice way to support local agriculture. You know, and then he says, well, other restaurants are buying these. Other restaurants can afford them. And of course, I didn't want to get into it. But, you know, the difference between my restaurant and other restaurants are, you know, everything I buy in my restaurant costs so much more than other restaurants. I wish I could buy a 50-pound bag of Domino sugar, or even organic sugar. I don't buy organic sugar. I buy evaporated evaporated coconut sugar. I buy organic ultra centrifuge agave nectar, which is $50 a gallon. I wish I could buy cheap agave, which is $20 a gallon. Everything that comes to my restaurant is analyzed. I just don't buy like whole wheat flour. I buy organic sprouted spelt flour. And this goes across the board with every single ingredient, including the things behind my bar. And we just don't buy grenadine, because grenadine is corn syrup and water. We don't buy Pepsi, we don't buy Coke. These are all cheap, inferior products. And I refuse to take part of saying, well, I'm farm to table, or I buy organic, and then half of my ingredients are just commodity crap. I don't do that. I don't have the luxury of calling a Cisco or calling a food distributor and just buying just cheap coffee, cheap sugar, cheap flour, cheap salt. My salt is 5 times the price that other restaurants are willing to pay for salt. So when he goes, well, other restaurants are buying, well, these other restaurants aren't doing what I'm doing. I can guarantee you they're not doing what I'm doing. They're not buying cheap cooking oil. They're not buying, you know, when we buy stuff, every single ingredient is analyzed. Am I perfect? No, of course I'm not perfect. But I try to say, okay, if I have a choice of X, Y, and Z, if Z is the best out of X and Y, I'm going to buy Z. But Z may not be the best answer, but it's the best of the choices that I have. Because I can easily pick apart things in my restaurant and say, well, this isn't healthy, this isn't this. Of course I could, but it's based upon the options that I have. They are better options. So every single time I buy something, I analyze and say, is it going to an independent? I love local, right? But besides local and past local, if I'm going to buy something from Italy, like a wine, or if I'm going to buy cognac from France, because I can't buy local cognac. I can't buy local Italian wine. I can't buy tequila from the US. I can't buy tequila from the Hudson Valley. Tequila comes from a specific region. There's certain things that are regional. My salt doesn't come from New York, it comes from Utah. So when we buy stuff from out of the state, out of the area, out of the country, my main purpose is to make sure that that's an independent producer, that the product goes to a family-owned business. Maybe the family-owned business is a larger family-owned business. Maybe it's a small family-owned business where there's 2, 3, 4, 5 employees. Maybe a family-owned business has 50 or 100 employees. But I want to make sure that it goes to a family, a smaller company that is contributing to a community. Okay, buying Domino's sugar is not contributing to a community. Buying cheap kosher salt, which every restaurant uses this kosher salt, is not supporting a small community somewhere. Buying, you know, General Mills products, white flour, buying stuff like that is not supporting. Buying Coke is not supporting a community somewhere. It's supporting shareholders. It's supporting corrupt practice. It's supporting companies that are fighting against our health, fighting against the right to label our foods. It's supporting all these kinds of companies that are undermining us, undermining our money, undermining everything. They're taking jobs away from communities like Diageo, who owns Johnny Walker, plus 200 other brands. They closed a Johnny Walker plant. It's not an independent. There's no plant there. They lost 700 jobs. Rolling Rock bought Budweiser. Budweiser bought Rolling Rock and closed the plant. Hundreds of people lost their jobs in Latrobe. I don't want to give money to those. Other restaurants have no problem giving money to those. Other restaurants have no problem. Other chefs have no problem. This is where I get so irate. They have no problem for making money and undermining our economy, our health, and our environment. They have no problem doing it and making money. I have a problem doing it. So if I can't afford to spend twice the price on a shiitake mushroom, because I was honest, it's out of my budget. I can't, everything that I buy is so much more expensive. I'm willing to buy, but I'm not going to negotiate with you. I'm not going to haggle you down. I trust that's the price you need, and I trust they're phenomenal mushrooms. And I even told them, I trust there's a difference. I trust that. I trust all that. But for me personally, it doesn't fit in. It's hard for me to make money with that type of product, with all the other expenses that I've incurred in my restaurant. Yes, the $8 beer in my restaurant is well worth $8, but so is the $6 beer. And so is the $24 entree compared to the $17 entree. So, do I support local? Of course. Do I support independent? Absolutely. Do I support choosing the right thing every time I can? 100%. I'm all on board with buying the right products and supporting. There's a lot of things that I buy that I shouldn't be buying, that I can't afford, but I just can't take to terms with buying something from another company. Alternative, see, the shiitake mushroom, I don't have to buy a shiitake mushroom because I don't have shiitake mushrooms. If I was buying a cheap Chinese one versus the one he was doing, I'd say, well, gee, it's on my menu, I'm locked in, how can I maneuver that in? But I don't have to maneuver shiitake mushrooms, and I have to maneuver a sweetener, and I have to maneuver flour, and I have to maneuver soda in, I have to maneuver all these other things. And so maneuvering is where I have to make the best calls and do the most research and spend more money. There's a lot of things, like I buy organic basil. When we don't grow basil in my restaurant, in the garden, I'm buying organic basil, which is twice the price of conventional basil. But I believe in it, so I'm paying twice the price, and sometimes we'll go through a pound of basil a day at twice the price. Not many other restaurants are willing to do that, but I am. Because I need basil, and basil is part of my menu. Shiitakes are not part of my menu. If they were part of my menu, I would have tried to do something or make a better choice or something. But that's me just going on my rant, and you know, no bad feelings against the shiitake farmer at all. I'd love to taste his shiitakes. I'd love to buy shiitakes. I'd love for him to come in my restaurant. I'd love to have another conversation with him. But, you know, I kind of got accused for not supporting local. And I go well above and beyond supporting local. I'm Chef Marcus Giuliano. Thanks for watching this video. If you like my videos, please hit like, subscribe to my channel, and definitely pass my videos on. Check out everything at marcusg.tv, where I have foodfraudtv.com, where I call out other chefs for lying about their food. Chef on a Mission has everything. No Farmed Salmon. Check out that website. You may never eat farmed salmon again. And a ton of other things. Thanks for watching.